It's live. The camera's on us now.
Okay, so we have closed the close, so we don't need to reopen. Maybe just- All right, so we're continuing on the agenda for the next item, which is related to public portion agenda items only. So if anyone has a concern that is listed on the agenda, please feel free to, we'll make a motion to open, but come forward and state your concern or question about the agenda. So can I have a motion to open to the public?
I'll make a motion. Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, seeing none, motion carries. So we are open to the public. Any member of the public can come forward. Just please state your name and address for the record and state your question. Okay. All right.
I'm gonna bring it up.
Now, this is specifically on an agenda item, correct?
I don't have any idea. I didn't look at the agenda.
Well, tell me what the item's about, and then,
Well, one question would be about the insurance on the sidewalks.
not on the agenda. What's the other question?
Most of them are centered around that. Who's liable and things like that.
You're talking about
And is the town
trees,
gonna replace the tree that they took down?
trees and uprooting sidewalks and all that stuff. Okay.
I thought that would be, because I remember you brought up something about that, was protecting curbs. So
Yes.
if I'm, you want me to sit down, sit down.
It's,
Mayor, I have him ask a question. It's fine.
all right, come on up, ask a question. We have a request from a member of the committee to continue with the conversation, but officially
My
on the.
question is, will the town replace the tree that they took down?
We're gonna try to.
Okay.
I think we do have the,
But it was attractive and the tree that they took down was attractive. But they said it was blighted. The people that were taking it down basically told me that it's their tree and I shouldn't ask those questions. But they said, when they start taking the tree down, I said, what are you doing? They said, it's our tree, we'll do what we want. Now, that wasn't an employee of the township, it was probably somebody that we hired, so I understand it's just stupidity.
It was an outside contractor that was taking place. All right, Mr. Davidson's not in the room, but we will address.
But I am concerned about if the sidewalk is lifted, am I responsible if somebody trips on it?
Do you want
Did the tree lift
It's a
it?
lawyer thing, maybe.
to? Yeah.
Mr. Quinn, did the tree lift it?
But the town put it in about 10 years ago. It's not a big, but I have a big oak on my property, and they lifted that. I mean, the town has fixed it several times. I'm not complaining, don't get me wrong. But I have a question, how do I plow it? And, I know I'm gonna hurt my snow blower if I did. So it's lifted. Is it my responsibility? Because I'm gonna probably be told by somebody, it's not your sidewalk, leave it alone.
Yeah. Yeah, we do, I'm not prepared to answer the question, because we do have an ordinance about it, and I just don't recall precisely what the ordinance says, so, but I will take a look at it at the next meeting, I'll have
I'll
it.
get together with you.
Yeah, or you can give me a call, sure. No, absolutely. We do have an ordinance that regulates that, but I just don't recall.
Thank you very much, Mr.
Mayor, we also have, I believe, the arborist coming to the next meeting as well, if anyone's
Yes.
interested in that, so.
Yes. Okay. All right, any other member of the public?
For agenda item.
Well, I mean, we
Oh,
did
okay.
have some,
All right.
we did have some relief, so.
That is true, 60 Lexington Ave. It's not on the agenda, but I'd like to know if there's going to be any more 2-hour signs posted on Lexington Ave. Because we've been inundated with commuters and the businesses on Essex Street.
So just give me 1 second to confer over here, just don't go anywhere. When we pass an ordinance
Mhm.
for 2-hour parking.
Right.
the ordinance still stands whether there's signage or not, correct?
Correct, that's
So-
correct.
So we
But we always
should be,
put- we
we
always-
should be putting the signs back
Correct.
up if that's the case.
Yes, 'cause otherwise, it just is a matter of fairness, you know, people,
Right,
the
they
outside
can't
don't
be.
know, they
right.
can't.
So if we're keeping the 2-hour parking, then we need to put signs up.
Unless you change the ordinance, you should put the signs up.
Okay. So does
I know some
anyone,
of them disappeared, Mr. Cruz. Some were taken down by residents who don't want the 2-hour parking, so it's a,
Well, it comes up from Rochelle Avenue, then it stops abruptly, like a quarter of the block up from West End. And then the rest of the street, they just take over. And
Alright.
they can't even get the sweeper in front of the house.
can we see exactly where was it the entirety of the street?
I don't
To
know.
look at-
So-
I don't know.
Years ago,
We're
I
going
can
to-
answer this one.
We're gonna look,
I live there.
we're gonna look at where the 2-hour parking zone has been identified. And then we'll have a discussion as far as if we're going to be consistent all the way down the street, or if we're going to amend the ordinance to provide relief of that 2-hour parking. Or maybe come with something different, as maybe a no parking between 8 and 10 a.m. in the morning. This way, street sweepers can come through. And also, if we're looking to address the concern of people coming and parking and leaving their car there the entire day, then that will take care of some of those issues.
It's 10 to 12 hours some days. One lady comes from New York, parks there, coffee in one hand, cell phone, 2 bags, handicap placard, and then walks 2 blocks.
Okay. Well, we can address the issue, but we have to be consistent throughout the entire overlay zone or whatever zone it is. We need to make sure that we address it consistently throughout.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you.
Okay, any other member of the public? All right, seeing none, can I have a motion to close the public
I'll
portion?
make a motion.
second.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, motion carries. So can I have a motion to approve the minutes of the public meeting held on September 25th, 2019?
I'll make the motion.
Okay, I'll second that. Can I have a roll call?
Committeewoman Boniface.
Yes.
Committeeman Dodgenny.
Yes.
Committeeman Moore.
Yes.
Mayor Casner.
Yes. Okay, next up, we have a proclamation, and is Ellen McGuire here from the Center for Hope and Safety, formerly known as Shelter Our Sisters. And they have their home here in Rochelle Park, so we're excited to have them here to receive this.
Good to see you.
And can you have all the members of the township committee come down? Sure. This is one of the issues that we can all stand up here and be very proud to support. So, this is a proclamation and it is proclaiming October as Domestic Violence Awareness Month. And it reads, whereas domestic violence is a serious crime and affects people of all races, ages, genders, and income level. Whereas domestic violence is widespread and affects over 4 million Americans each year. And whereas 1 in 3 Americans have witnessed an incident of domestic violence, as whereas children that grow up in violent homes are believed to be abused and neglected at a higher rate than the national average. And whereas domestic violence costs the nation billions of dollars annually in medical expenses, police and court costs, shelters, foster care, sick leave, absenteeism, and non-productivity. Whereas only a coordinated community effort will put a stop to this heinous crime. And whereas Domestic Violence Awareness Month provides an excellent opportunity for citizens to learn more about preventing domestic violence and how to show support for the numerous organizations and individuals who provide
critical advocacy services and assistance to victims. Now therefore, the Township Committee of the Township of Rochelle Park, New Jersey, proclaims the month of October as Domestic Violence Awareness Month and urges the residents of the Township of Rochelle Park to work together to eliminate domestic violence from our community. And I have my signature sealed here. So before we leave, can you tell us about what the Center for Hope and Safety does? And I know you do it quietly, but extremely professionally, and I know you have a lot of friends that help you out. So
You all included, my friends over here, with the efforts of Rochelle Park, who support us tremendously with not only a food drive and our billboard on Route 17, but the Center for Hope and Safety, our administrative offices here in Rochelle Park. And a safe house or shelter in Bergen County and 5 transitional homes. And we provide services to women and children who are affected by domestic violence. Here in Rochelle Park, we serve the community of Bergen County, and that's over 300 to 400 families a year. We provide clothing, food, counseling, art therapy, music therapy, all sorts of services for families and women, and now for men who are affected by domestic violence. So Rochelle Park has been very good to us, and we truly, truly appreciate your support.
thank you very much. And we wish there wasn't a need for
We wish there
what
wasn't
you.
either. Exactly.
Just please, all members, and we'll do a presentation and a picture.
Spoke about domestic violence all day. A little tired. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Pleasure.
Okay, nice seeing you. Okay.
Twice, thank you so much.
Okay. All right, thank you very much. And we have best practices annual audit, Roy Brictano here to discuss the financial status of the township.
Good evening. The law requires that I present to the Township Committee the best practice inventory. There's 84 questions. We did very well, but I need to respond to the no questions. So question number 12 was one that we answered no. Was a formal policy of the municipal budget surplus is crucial to making informed financial decisions? Basically, we said no, because if you put a formal policy in place where you have to remain X amount of percentage, one year you may not have that percentage of the surplus, and as a result, you could potentially reduce services to the community. Number 16 allows to establish a storm recovery reserve for purposes such as but not limited to snow, ice, and debris removal. We simply didn't have the funds this year to do that. Hopefully next year we can set up a reserve for storm-related issues. Number 18, we did have prior audit findings. Through the chair, we're definitely on the right track, as you saw this evening in closed session as well. Number 58, is your municipality provide garbage pickup or contracts with a private holder to do so? And is it no more than once a week? We pick up garbage, I believe, twice a week, so that would be a no. I don't understand. I question that with the state. I believe 2 times a week is actually safer and better for the health. Number 61. This was one that I spoke with the administrator. We don't have a formal list of individuals at the police station if someone needs emergency assistance such as oxygen, or if there's an issue with a battery pack or what have you for the residents. So that's something that I'm going to look at for next year. And finally, number 77. Has your municipality changed its master plan and zoning ordinances within the past 2 years? I don't believe we have. And with that, that would be a no. For the Township Committee, we have more than enough yeses, so we will be getting our full complement of state aid in December.
And in the years past,
We've done very well.
Never missed state aid, correct?
We have not.
All right, so things are looking.
We're good.
And hopefully a couple of those, at least next year, we'll take care of those before we have the review again.
Yes.
Any questions from members of the Township Committee?
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Well, it's once a year, so yes. I'm gonna allow it. Just a quick question.
Somebody had shown me a copy of what was online. I don't know if it's the same as, they said it was the best practices. And a different one came up. If the municipality had adopted any kind of policy about vehicle uses, municipal vehicles. And this came up as a no, prohibiting personal use of the vehicles except for commuting.
Yeah, that could be one I probably missed. It's a no on the system.
Okay, my question is, with insurance that's on the municipal vehicles, does that designate who uses the cars, when they can be used, who can be in the cars, et cetera?
I mean, that's not
It's not a
question for,
Well, the question has to do with if we don't have a policy for it, but we cover with insurance.
no, the policy has to do with if we're going to issue a 1099 or a W-4 for the individual who's using the vehicle, such as a volunteer. It's the position of many towns that why would a volunteer then have to pay for that vehicle on their 1040 return? That's the intent of the question.
Because the question just says, is there a policy?
The policy as far as IRS regulations.
It doesn't specify that. So it has nothing to do with whether we allow anybody to use the vehicle or when, where, or who can get in it.
it's financial.
It's a financial issue. That's what this is all about.
Isn't insurance financial? But my question is, if insurance dictates who can use it or who can get in it or when it can be used, and we don't have a policy that coordinates with that, then my concern is if something happens, that the insurance people turn
Yeah,
around and say.
We can discuss the policy as far as the way we deal with vehicles and who's covered and all that stuff. But as far as this report is concerned, it is only related to reporting of a financial benefit to volunteers. Is that correct?
That is absolutely correct.
Okay. So we can talk about the policy issue other than that, but this is specifically related to that question. Okay. Any other questions from the public? Okay, seeing none. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, next up, we have our engineers report. Mr. Kelly, good to see you.
Good to see you. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for being here.
No problem. All right, the only item on our agenda is our written status report. So you should have a copy of our October 21st status report. Just like to touch on a few items for ROP 101, that's the Rochelle Ave and Railroad Ave intersection project. We're still waiting for the signage and striping plan from the county. We've reached out to them. We've reached out to our contact there. We're not getting an acceptable response from him. I'm going to have the head of our highway design department reach out to the county engineer tomorrow. We're going to go above the staff level that we're dealing with and go up the ladder to get this moving. All we're waiting for is signage and striping plan from them. We can finalize our plans within 2 weeks after that. And we still expect to, if we get this soon from the county, we still expect to be out to bid by the end of the year with construction proceeding in the spring of or in early 2020. For ROP 102, that's a Sprout Brook stream cleaning project. We expect to have our DEP application submitted by November 1st. And for the 120 West Passaic redevelopment, we do have to do a video inspection of the line in Berdan Street, and we expect that to be done the next few weeks, and then we'll have our report completed by November 15th. And that's all I have.
Okay, that first issue, RP 101, if you are still experiencing, let's just say delays in response, please let the administrator know.
Okay.
So if we need to provide additional pressure in any way to get that done, we certainly will.
I will.
Make some phone calls.
During that conversation, if you can just kindly check to make sure that they're going to be, because they're supposed to be going out to bid in the fall, which is now. And that was our conversation that we had with the county, okay? And
Yeah, I think
Ms. Boniface and I we spoke directly to them at the time, so again, part and parcel of the issue, that's why we had Mr. Job do that other thing.
Right.
That was so that they don't try to blame us for any delays.
It's clear that
So,
we've been waiting for the signage and striping plan for, it has to be 6 to 8 months now.
Right. and just one other thing, reference to the 120. Have you had the opportunity to discuss with Mr. Vitolo what I spoke to you about today?
We have not,
No,
about
not yet.
whether, because it caught the video
Yeah, well-
online.
Yeah, well, I'll speak to you tomorrow about it offline and
Sounds good.
Yep, I just want to make sure that we have that conversation.
We'll do that.
Any other questions from the township committee?
Mike, about, for next year, Madison and Marinas,
Yes.
are those, did you start working on the plans for that, or do we have to do a resolution?
No, we started work on the design now. We expect the plans and specs to be completed probably by the end of the year, go out to bid over the winter and have it as a spring project.
Okay,
Obviously, we'll have to make sure all the funding's in place, but
Funding is in place.
okay, then that's the plan.
okay.
And the other thing, I spoke to Mr. Schmunk as well, reference to trying to do another street for next year's budget as well.
Well, as soon as you know that, just let me
Yes.
know. Combined with these streets,
Probably going to have to move on. Let's get these projects done. But that'll be in addition too, if we can do it. Because that'll be based on next year's budget anyways.
Could we bid them together too?
Marinas and Madison,
Madison, yes.
definitely.
They are.
Okay,
Okay. Any other questions?
Well, just one for Mr. Kelly. At the last meeting, we mentioned some possible traffic calming mechanisms. Are you still looking into some solutions?
I'm waiting for the list of locations. So I haven't received
okay.
that. Once I get that, I'll
Okay.
take care of that.
The best way of dealing with this, quite honestly, is I'll have the traffic officer from the
Okay.
police
Oh,
department
perfect.
speak with you.
Okay, sounds
Okay?
good.
Thank you very much.
No problem.
All right,
Okay,
thank you.
all right.
thank
Have a
you.
good night.
Good night, thank you.
Okay, we have reports for September 2019 in the office on file for the Health Department, Building Department, Municipal Court, Fire Department, Property Maintenance, Fire Prevention, DPW, and the Police Department, all on file with the clerk. So if you would like to take a look, you can go and do that. And Madam Clerk.
Okay, at the work session held on October 9th, 2019, the following resolutions were adopted. Resolution 2019-196, a resolution authorizing the Rochelle Park Police Department to participate in the 1033 program. Resolution 2019-197, a resolution authorizing Joe and Joe to continue with the intersection improvement program taking. Okay, resolutions. All items listed with an asterisk are considered to be routine and non-controversial by the Township Committee and will be approved by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless a committee member or citizen so requests, in which case the item will be removed from the consent agenda and considered in its normal sequence on the agenda as part of the general orders. Resolution 2019-198 through 204 and Resolution 2019-209 and 210. May I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I'll make a motion to approve it.
May I have a second?
Second,
Committeewoman Boniface?
yes.
Committeeman Bodnar?
Yes.
Committeeman Moran?
Yes.
Mayor Casper?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, next up, resolution number 2019-205, authorizing a redevelopment agreement with 120 West Passaic Street. Do I have any discussion?
just want to be clear that we got the traffic signal thing corrected. I think I read that
Yes,
about
yes.
them being responsible for that.
Well, the way it was resolved ultimately, I spoke to the developer, spoke to our redevelopment council. Essentially, if Bergen County, which would control that requirement, mandates it, they're going to require the developer to do it anyway. So, and that was the ultimate resolution. If they're required to do it because of the county, wouldn't be our requirement. They're going to do it. It's going to be a condition of county approval anyway. So it probably shouldn't have really been an issue because it was going to be required in any event. So.
Okay.
Any other discussion or questions? All right, so can I have a motion to approve?
I'll make that motion.
Okay, there's a second.
I'll second it.
Motion has been made and seconded. Roll call.
Committeewoman Boniface.
Yes.
Committeeman Bonnet.
Yes.
Committeeman Warren.
Yes.
Mayor Casper.
Yes. Number 2019-206, a resolution hearing and adoption, 1148-19, amending Chapter 27 disciplinary procedure for volunteers. Can I have a motion to open the hearing to the public?
I'll make a motion.
Okay, do we have a second? Okay, roll call.
Committeewoman Boniface.
Yes.
Committeeman Bonnet.
Yes.
Committeeman Warren.
Yes.
Mayor Casper.
Yes. Okay, we are open for discussion on this particular resolution. Any member of the public wanting to come forward, make a comment or a question, please do so now. Okay, seeing none, can I have a motion to close?
I'll make a motion to close.
Second.
All right, roll call.
Committeewoman Boniface.
Yes.
Committeeman Bonnet.
Yes.
Committeeman Warren.
Yes.
Mayor Casper.
Yes. Okay, and then we need a motion to adopt.
Motion.
Okay, I'll second it. Roll call.
Committeewoman Boniface.
Yes.
Committeeman Bonnet.
Yes.
Committeeman Warren.
Yes.
Mayor Casper.
Yes. Okay. Resolution 2019-207, resolution hearing adoption for 1149-19, providing determine the salary and rate of compensation for the Fire Prevention Bureau. What we intend to do with this tonight, just for information, is to adopt this and use this salary scale until the end of the year. Prior to the end of the year, we hope to have an agreement with department and operating expenses and all those things, getting them in line. And then based upon that discussion and determination at the time, we will go forward with either the compensation rate that's listed here, or we have to adopt a new resolution. So can I have a motion to open the hearing?
I'll make a motion. Second.
Okay, roll call?
Committeewoman Boniface.
Yes.
Committeeman Bonnet.
Yes.
Committeeman Warren.
Yes.
Mayor Casper.
Yes. Okay, the resolution is, or the hearing's open for this resolution. Please come forward, say your name and address if you want to comment on this issue. Okay, seeing none, can I have a motion to close the hearing?
I'll make a motion to close it. Second.
Okay, roll call.
Committeewoman Boniface.
Yes.
Committeeman Bonnet.
Yes.
Committeeman Warren.
Yes.
Mayor Casper.
Yes, and do we have a motion to adopt?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second that. Okay, roll call?
Committeewoman Boniface.
Yes.
Committeeman Bonnet.
Yes.
Committeeman Warren.
Yes.
Mayor Casper.
Yes. Okay, 2019-208, a resolution hearing and adoption of 1050-19, amending chapter 185 zoning. Can I have a motion to open to the public?
Motion. I'll second it.
Okay, roll call.
Committeewoman Boniface.
Yes.
Committeeman Bonnet.
Yes.
Committeeman Warren.
Yes.
Mayor Casper.
Yes. Okay, we are open for discussion on resolution of 2019-208. Okay, member of the public? Seeing none.
You want to just tell them what that one is, though?
Mr. Rotolo, do you want to explain the?
Just explain what that one is.
This is, sure, this is the ordinance which changes the list of permitted uses at the Tyson House property. creates a historic property overlay zone, I think is what we decided to call it, that would expand the permitted uses. It also imposes certain bulk requirements, coverage, setbacks, and so forth. It was reviewed by the planning board, recommended by the planning board, reviewed by our planner, who recommended certain changes, and we've incorporated those changes into this ordinance.
Any other questions? Okay. Any member of the public wanting to come forward, discuss this? All right, seeing none. Do we have a motion to close?
Yes, I'll make a motion to close.
Yes.
You did?
Yeah.
Yes. Motion to
Alright.
close.
All right, so I'll second that. And roll call, please.
Committeewoman Boniface.
Yes.
Committeeman Bodnar.
Yes.
Committeeman Warren.
Yes.
Mayor Casmer.
Yes. Okay, a motion to adopt. I'll make the motion to adopt.
I'll second it.
Okay, roll call.
Committeewoman Boniface.
No.
Committeeman Bodnar.
Yes.
Committeeman Warren.
Yes.
Mayor Casmer.
Yes.
Resolution is complete.
Thank you very much. Administrators report.
Okay, the only thing I really have for this evening, did everybody receive the email I sent, the reference to this, the veteran-friendly municipality? I'm not sure if I sent it out this morning. Okay. So anyways, I had spoken to the gentleman, I believe he's a major in the Army. He's pretty much heading this up. And he would like to speak to the Township Committee at the next meeting, if in fact you would, like to have him come out to speak about this particular program and ask for the support of the municipality as well. We would like to be able to do this, with the Veterans Day coming up and for the month of November.
Yes.
Yes,
Any other member? Yes?
yes.
I'm fine with it.
Okay, I mean, unless you're good with it, and we can, because I had the attorney take a look at it to see if there was any adverse issues.
Yeah, I don't see any downside to it at all. It's just, it's a process of information dissemination to veterans organizations, an attempt to hire veterans, attempt to award contracts to veterans, nothing binding, but just a recommendation. I don't see anything negative about it. I mean, if you'd like to adopt it, we could.
Well, I
Proceed.
think
We can
what
still
we
bring
could
it
do is we could have the discussion and essentially have a resolution ready to adopt next meeting.
So have him come in. Okay, perfect. That'd be perfect.
November 6th.
November 6th, yes, please. Thank you.
Okay. Anything else?
No, that's it.
Okay, that's quick. All right, Mr. Warren.
Okay, I just have a couple of items. First, I want to, since the gentleman who is in the audience who requested this way back in the winter to get an AED device for the municipal building, I was able to acquire a free AED device courtesy of Invictus Pharmacy for the municipal building. They will be bringing out that along with extra Narcan or Narcan for the police on Thursday. So we will have an AED machine here. It's been donated. And I just want to thank Invictus Pharmacy for getting that for the municipality. The Saddle River County Park, that's close to where Rochelle Park is. It's where you cross over that bridge. A lot of residents have been mentioning that there's a lot of tree and debris there. So I did reach out to the county, but I also reached out to our assembly people to get in touch with the county. So I was included on a string of emails where the county is sending the mosquito control to clean the debris that's on the surface after October. So in November, they should be there removing some trees and debris that's on the surface. Of course, if we're talking about the berms or the islands that are popping up, even the county has to get the DEP approval to clean those up. So I'm hoping that we can continue to pressure the county to clean up that area further. And that's all I have for tonight. I hope everyone has a great Halloween. I'm looking forward to the Ragamuffin Parade. So far, it looks like it's just going to be cloudy, thankfully. And that's all I have for today, Mayor.
Thank you very very much. Ms. Boniface.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for attending. Saturday night, we have the Ragamuffin Parade. Starts at 5:30 on William Street. That's the parking lot behind Midland School. The parade route will then go Williams to Chestnut to Berdan to Carlock Field for light refreshments, music, and fun. There's a jack-o'-lantern decorating contest. Drop your jack-o'-lanterns off between 4 and 5 at Carlock Field, and the festivities end at 8:30. It's also Saturday morning, we have the last sign up at Houghton Hall for Rochelle Park Recreation Basketball from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. It's $55 for pre-K to second grade, $90 for junior, senior division. The travel basketball is $80, and you can get more information at the sign up, which is 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. Also, don't forget to recycle the plastic bags. We have a bin here. That goes to it helps the town. It goes to the recycling grant. And we get that depending on how much we recycle. So also, remember at Ragamuffin Parade to donate. We're helping Hands Ministry. Please bring a non-perishable food item to help families and individuals in need. Also, there's a lot been going on with fire prevention. I brought it up many times. We discussed it again tonight. From 2003 to just 2016, the funds were deposited in a trust fund instead of going to pay salaries. Now, you got to remember, fire prevention is not the fire department. It's paid fire inspectors. So from 2003, well, whenever the department was started to 2006, the money was put in this trust fund. Or, as nobody will say, it's a trust fund, so I call it a slush fund. 2017 and 2018 money was taken out of this fund to go into the general fund of the township. That's all being straightened out due to the audit, which caught it and caught some of our eyes. So that was a lot of what's been going on. And because I question spending within this township, I'm going to get attacked. That doesn't matter. I'm going to keep questioning. I was elected to stop irresponsible spending, and that is just what I'm going to do. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much,
You're welcome.
Mr.
Which one, Mr. Quinn?
You say, what was the number? I couldn't hear what's the number you said.
It was a lot of money. Tens of thousands, how about hundreds of thousands of dollars?
All right. Mr. Bobchak.
I have no formal report tonight. I just want to remind everybody that general election's coming up Tuesday, November 5th. That's all.
Okay, thank you. Just at the beginning of the meeting, we had a moment of silence for a member of our community who passed, Frank Madden, who was an extremely active member of our community, serving on various boards, including, but not limited to, the Board of Ed, the Republican Club, the Parade Committee, which he was also Grand Marshal of the parade, one-year Memorial Day Parade. He was extremely active and I guess integral part of the swim club, the senior club, and he was also an Army veteran from the Vietnam War. A lot of people refer to him as Mr. Rochelle Park. He was involved in just about everything he could be involved in, and I know our town and members of the community will miss him. In addition to that, we did have an event last week, which was the PTO, Midland School PTO trunk or treat. I'll tell you, there were a lot of kids there. It was the first time that I was able to attend with my little ones, and they saw some scary costumes, so it was a little rough at first, but a very good event. It did raise a lot of money for the school or their activities. So I'd like to thank them for putting that together. And I did over last week attend the fire department ex-chief's dinner. And that was certainly well attended as well. So there's no other report that I have for tonight.
No.
So let's move into attorney's report.
Mayor, I don't have any formal report tonight.
Okay, and actually I do have one other thing. I'm sorry, I overlooked it. Members of the CERT team did actually man a volunteer for two events over the weekend. One was training for dealing with people with some psychological challenges when they're out in the public and they are under stress. Sometimes these things do show up. So if they're responding to an event that's happening in town, this additional training allows them to interact and know how to best deal with that individual or situation if it may arrive. And then also this weekend was the cleaning of the veterans' graves. And we had people staffing both the registration table as well as participating in cleaning the graves as well. So I'd like to thank them for that activity. Clerk's report.
Just to let everyone know, Election Day is Tuesday, November 5th. The polls open at 6 a.m. and close at 8 p.m. and all voting is done in the senior center. That's all I have.
Okay. Let's motion open to the public.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
Third.
Okay. All's in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, seeing none, we are open to the public. Any member of the public wishing to come forward, please state your name and address and your concern or question.
Mayor 14 Paisley. I'd just like to thank Bob Davidson for spearheading the AED, the defibrillator, and whoever helped him with that. I know it's a combination between Bob and Michael, right? Okay, and I thank you very much for pursuing this. And
Are you going to sign up for the training?
Yes.
Okay, good.
I'm taking training.
All right, well.
I'd like to be involved, and we're going to locate it also.
Perfect. Great, thank you so much.
I'm sure he'll drill it into the wall if you need him to. So
Whatever makes him happy, it's fine.
yes.
Ed Quinn, the 19 Key Street, Rochelle Park. I went to a Civil War meeting at the Hesper Heights Municipal Complex last month, and in their facility, they have on their walls photos of every mayor that was in existence at the Hesper Heights. And I was just wondering why we haven't done that in Rochelle Park. It's something that you guys should think about, but it would be a nice recognition rather than, the $5,000 per plaque that we put on the firehouse with, one mayor gets his name, nobody else gets their name. So I would think that to recognize the mayors that we did, we should do that. And where I'm going with this is they have plaques up there for every Girl Scout that earned the Gold Award. So think about that for a recognition of the Girl Scouts that have existed in the town that achieved the Gold Award. That's the highest award that you get in Girl Scouts. They also have a plaque for the Eagle Scouts. And so I would like to see the town think about something like that for the Eagle Scouts. And they have other plaques up there. I don't remember all of them. But I thought that would be a nice gesture at Rochelle Park to do that for the kids that earned the award in Rochelle Park. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You don't need to respond. Something to take into-
We do have some pictures of the township committee. A couple of years have gone since our last picture. I certainly would like to keep that, not necessarily for the mayor, But I think for the township committee, we should continue that tradition.
Well, you
Or
need to
restart.
recognize the people that do things for the town.
Restart.
You guys certainly do things for the town.
And you said this was displayed in their municipal building?
In the lower level of the Hasbrook Heights, they have a big facility, so similar to ours, but nice facility. Take a look over there and then evaluate it and see whether it applies to our community or not. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, any other? Okay.
I guess never be the time to answer this earlier, so. Do we have any policies, not financial, that states, about, I mean, I looked at exactly what he said. A vehicle adopted, written vehicle use, prohibiting personal use of municipal vehicles except for commuting. So do we have anything like that, or will we ever have?
I'm personally, I'm not aware of any policy like that. I don't recall ever seeing it here.
So any,
I think something is in the personnel code book,
Maybe,
something in
something-
reference to that.
because I guess I'm just tying into the question that does insurance.
I couldn't quote it
who can
exactly.
use
it could be.
The municipal vehicles, for what purpose, who gets in the vehicles, where they can use them, et cetera.
I think that if they are officially hired by the township or part of a volunteer organization, they would be covered by the policy that we currently have.
The person who's hired. So my question is, the question that was in the best practice said, is there a municipal policy about vehicle use, personal use, except for commuting? So my question is, any of these employees, can they use the vehicles for a use that's not commuting or not a municipal use?
So I still think that's referring to a monetary,
The way it's written, it doesn't say that. I read exactly what it says.
but the question is a good question. Is there a policy that we have or are willing to adopt on the township level that addresses that specific issue? I think that's something that we need to discuss.
I think I think we should definitely discuss it and see if we have something that's similar like that in our policies, or we want to adopt it. I understand where Mrs. Verhassel is coming from. I mean, essentially, Mayor, can I hop into a township vehicle and drive it around if I wanted to? Technically, I'm employed by the town, but I don't think I can do that.
You
So
would be covered.
covered by insurance, right?
So-
But
Right.
if I'm using it outside of what insurance deems to be acceptable use,
Personal use.
then perhaps not.
Well,
It probably would not be an exclusion from coverage, but, I mean, it's a point well taken, and I think aside from a member, an elected official, let's say another official that has a vehicle that they use in connection with their job, could they take it down the shore for
Right.
a weekend? I mean,
Can they have,
it's kind of,
they have people, passengers in the
Right.
car there?
well, certainly
are not
nobody
employees.
else should be driving it.
I'm not
There-
talking
there
about
is-
Right.
saying if they transport a friend or family.
Right.
And the reason I'm saying that also is, I know county employees, under no circumstance whatsoever, are allowed to have anybody in their vehicles. That it's assigned for that person, they're the only one allowed in it, they're not allowed to have, and I know this was a friend of mine who works for the county, and they can't take their wife, their kids, I mean, he had to pick up his son from school who was sick, and he had to physically get rid of the truck that he drives, and he's in the management level, get his own personal vehicle to get his child, but that's a county rule, it's insurance reasons, because if they ever were in an accident, and it's somebody who is not allowed to be in that vehicle, then you're on that slippery slope.
There may be something, Linda said there might be something in the personnel manual.
Isn't
There may
something
very
in
well
the
be.
personnel manual? I'm trying to find it on the code book. I can't.
Well, I hope that if it's in there, there should be something for that all the employees who have to know that.
Ms. Verhassel, do you know if there are any other townships that have a policy? Were you able to, I mean, I'll look on my
I
own.
don't know, but I do know.
Yeah.
if
I
the
could look.
county has a policy,
Yeah.
we could probably
Yeah.
use.
Just adopt that one.
You might have
Okay.
to email.
We do, well, first of all, there is a policy. First of all of our employees are insured, okay? Now, they're not supposed to be driving their families around. We don't put the family in the police car as an example. So, or, you know, the same thing with even with your volunteers, ambulance corps, we just have the ambulances. Those would be the only ones. Fire department does have something in their policy pertaining to that issue.
You can search it.
I didn't know you were going to be asking this question tonight, so I apologize for not being able to be
So we can
verbatim.
look it up and,
But the whole point of the, and the other issue is, because we had this come up previously where I had to deny the use of a vehicle because they wanted to take it out of state. If they do need to take it out of state, as an example, when the fire department goes to Pennsylvania, I forget what that thing is for
They
the fire trucks.
They do inspection of the fire trucks and potentially to pick it up.
But they always ask me prior to, so they have authorization to go out of state with the vehicle.
And I think we get a rider on the insurance. When they do that, we notify the insurance provider and they rider it onto the policy.
But the point of the matter is, I know that's, we have those are in place.
These are the vehicles, I'm not talking police cars, I don't exactly.
Right.
Police officers.
Because that's what I'm trying to say, because I mean, the only vehicles we have, I mean,
We have fire protection vehicles, we have
Yes,
fire chiefs, I don't know, assistant chiefs, I don't know what other ones, those are the ones that I see.
right, but again, there is a policy for them.
And so they're allowed to or not allowed to?
Do what? Again, I told you, I,
So we,
off the top of my head, I just don't remember.
Because I also, my suggestion is once you decide on what a policy should or shouldn't be, something should go out to those employees so they're aware.
Well, they already have it.
I'm
Whatever's
gonna
there,
read
they
it.
have.
Sorry, Bob. Use of township vehicles. It's chapter 27, 34. Use of township vehicles. Unless an employee receives permission from the administrator, Township of Rochelle Park owned vehicles shall be used only on official business, and all passengers must be on Township of Rochelle Park business. Vehicles may be taken home only with the advance approval of the administrator. When an employee takes home a Township of Rochelle Park vehicle, it is to be used only for official Township of Rochelle Park business. Any other use is not permitted. At no time shall children be in the Township of Rochelle Park vehicle when responding to an emergency. Any violation of this policy constitutes cause for disciplinary action. That's it.
But responding to an emergency, so personal use is not allowed at all, is what that says?
Basically,
the only people it says is that you have to be a township employee on township business.
Okay. Then, is your everything we covered? Thank you.
Thank you so much.
any other member of the public?
West Golden Street. I have 6 questions. One of the resolutions tonight was to sell the fire truck to Lodi. And the last work session, Mark had mentioned that we could get about $20,000. What price would you get from Lodi?
So I don't know, was it specifically that you mentioned $20,000?
That was, they said that was on the high end, but the comparable to that was if it had like a polyethylene tank, I think it was. Ours was the steel tank, so ours was worth a little bit more, a little bit less than that.
15,000.
15 was the most of the written was.
15,000.
Yeah.
Okay. Second question. You passed the resolution for the salary fire prevention. What were the salary changes that you made on the hourly and the?
Those were the ones that we discussed weeks ago, or actually probably three meetings.
A couple meetings, yeah. So I think it was 15 to 20.
Right, that was for all employees, correct?
For the fire prevention. The range was from 15 to 20, I believe.
$15 to $20
To be determined by township administrator, sorry, Ms. Allen, I didn't mean to interrupt, not to exceed 2019 budget. So that's just till the end of this year, Mayor, correct?
it's just till the end of the year.
And Ms. Houghton, because of the findings from the audit, that's why the mayor mentioned before, with the reexamination of the department, I would expect something different for the new year. Just my opinion. Thank you.
Now, my favorite subject, 120. At the work session, it was brought up that I thought they were out of compliance. Ms. Mueller read from the agreement saying they were out of compliance. And we all suggested that someone call the DEP to check it out. Has anybody called the DEP?
Mr. Davidson,
I didn't.
No,
did you?
no, I wasn't directed to. No. I wasn't directed to.
The answer is no. Nobody called.
Well, I called.
Okay.
I'm waiting for a follow-up from one of the enforcing officers or something. They were supposed to get in touch with Mr. Davidson and the building department. They wanted to see some plans and they wanted some pictures or they'd be on site. I called today for another follow-up and the girl wasn't in.
So, Mr. Davidson, did you receive any phone calls from DEP?
Not at all.
Okay. So while we're talking about it, can you follow up with the DEP? Make sure that they are, that they send somebody to the site to identify if they are in compliance with whatever the DEP regulations are that are currently in effect and apply to that site.
Actually, if you don't mind, Mrs. Allen, if I can have the number or the person you spoke to, I think that would be, this way here, we're talking to the same people.
And one of the people I spoke to from DEP said that he does not believe in the state of New Jersey that pulverized asphalt is clean, fillable. So,
Ms. Allen, I was speaking to a friend of mine who had their house raised way back when. There's a special kind of dirt that is supposed to be used for fill that's like, I guess, extra absorbent for water, but definitely not asphalt or pulverized concrete or whatever it is. But so I don't think they should be using that for the fill. And that's something I think we really need to stress to the developer, that can't go on with that fill there. It should be either that special dirt, don't recall the name, but I'll ask my friend. She lives on Chestnut Street. So, but she was supposed to get this special dirt to raise her home, and she was going to create a berm, but didn't plan on doing it. But there is a type of dirt that you use for fill for flood areas. So
Mr. Davidson's going to reach out to them.
I will reach out, like I said, to the DEP. Now, it's pertaining to the whole issue about what they can and can't do. That's what we have a building department here for. And
So
they're the ones that, well, I certainly can have a conversation with the building department pertaining to this issue.
When the person from the DEP is here on site,
Mhm.
can you make sure our building department is also
I will see if I can get
participating?
I'll see if I can get my construction official out here as well. And this way here, we can all have a conversation together.
Mayor, I could just add that after the last meeting, I contacted the developer, its engineer, and I did ask what approvals had been granted so far from the DEP for the self-storage site. And they did give me copies of some permits that the DEP issued, because I think that came up as well. So I have it here. I could make some copies or give you a copy if you want, Ms.
I
Allen.
have a copy of the DEP.
You do? Because it has contact file information and caseworker information that might be somebody to contact if you have specific questions.
But it just seems like a whole parcel that's supposed to be working on has extended across to the other parcels. And it just seems like nobody's doing any oversight of it. They're doing whatever they want to do. And this is a flood zone. I'm in a flood zone. I think it's very important for people in the flood zone that we have this done properly so that we have the least amount of inconvenience once it's all up and done. Because flooding on Redan Street is the worst. and it's only gonna get worse. Storm drains, special storm sewers, whatever, they haven't even started that yet.
So, could you provide?
But I
that- a
honestly
copy of
don't
that
believe
too?
that asphalt is gonna be used for fill.
No, I can't.
Why did
They
spray
crushed,
it?
they crushed it because it looks better that way than being in piles. I hate to say it, like, I work in construction and I know construction sites look hard till they're done. It's like the last thing they want to do. It's sad, but like they don't want to waste money on, they want to truck it out all at once. They don't want to truck it out and then come back in. They're waiting for the redevelopment agreements to go on. When they mobilize the site and start working on it, then you'll see stuff going on. But right now, it's in limbo.
Because I can't imagine asphalt
No,
be
they.
used as fill. I mean,
No.
that,
You can't, it's too soft.
And I know, like, you can use the pulverized concrete, the crusher, they reuse that, but that's what I've heard, it's a zero fill. So if they take out of one area, they have to leave all the dirt on there, but asphalt isn't fill.
So can you provide a copy of that
Sure.
to the administrator?
Yep.
So the administrator has the person that he needs to talk to, case numbers, all that stuff. This way, when he reaches out, he gets the most effective response.
But if we get another Floyd, that's gonna be all over. And the good thing we have a frost coming, because otherwise, with the water in the pond, we'd be infested with mosquitoes. All that rainwater is good in that. That's all.
Thank you.
Maybe, Mr. Davidson, could you maybe reach out to Bergen County Mosquito and have them spray that pond?
Yeah, I'll see if they can do it, but
Yeah.
only because of the weather right now, they may
Right,
not be
it's
doing
cold,
it anymore.
right, yeah.
Hello.
Could someone tell me what's going on with these basketball hoops in this town? There's still, we've been talking about this for months. There's a code, it's not being enforced. The hoops are on right by the curb.
Right away.
The street cleaner, when it comes through, has to go out, can't clean up to the curbs. What's going on with that?
Mr.
Got
Davidson,
letters.
we've,
The property maintenance person has been doing it, okay? Again, what happened was, we sent out the initial letter, but now because it's going to property maintenance, he also had to do the exact same thing to notify them that they were in
So they
violation.
notified again?
So they've been notified,
You
and
know when
if,
that was?
off the top of my head, I do not know, I'm sorry. I can certainly give it to you the next meeting, but yeah, matter of fact, hopefully there'll be violations if they're still out
Because
there.
it's a hazard. We have trucks come up the street, you can't park there, you could, even a tall SUV, can't
Mhm.
park there, if the thing is lowered.
Right.
And it's a joke to the people who have it here, I'll tell you, right now, it's a joke. Because I have someone on my street that will point at it and look at me and laugh, because he's getting away with it. And I think it's really out of order, and this town has to enforce the codes. You got to do right, get it over.
We're doing it.
I look forward to.
so we'll have a report next,
Yeah, sure.
as to when the letter went out and if any,
I'll actually have some, I'll know a lot more tomorrow morning.
okay, and if any, violations or summonses have been issued.
If you want,
Last time I spoke to you about it, you said that there's no fine listed, there's nothing, I mean, have we
I think
discussed
that falls
fines?
under the general.
Yeah, there's a general penalty provision, yeah.
Which means what? What happens?
There's certain ordinances have particular fines built into them. There's also a general penalty provision in the code, like every town has. It says that if no specific fines are provided or penalties are provided elsewhere, it falls under this section. So, and it's minimum of $100, something like that. But I don't recall exactly what it goes up to a high number, but there's a minimum, I think, of 100. So even though that particular ordinance provision about basketball hoops may not say the fine could be X, it defaults to that general provision. So it is provided for in the code.
Well, please, let's get this done and get it done with.
If
It's
you,
there all over, it's not just.
you can give me a call 1, 2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, I'll have an answer for you.
I have senior citizens at one time.
Well, then you can stop, then you, well, you can stop by.
We're having Halloween lunch.
Good for you.
tomorrow, so
If you're, but you can stop by my office.
That's a club I gotta
Okay.
join.
Okay.
Any other member of the public? Okay, seeing none.
I'll make a motion to close.
Okay, do we have a second?
Second.
All right, roll call.
Committeewoman Boniface.
Yes.
Committeeman Bodnar.
Yes.
Committeeman Warren.
Yes.
Mayor Cosner.
Yes. Motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Second.
All right, roll call.
Yes.
Committeewoman Boniface.
Yes.
Committeeman Bodnar.
Yes.
Committeeman Warren.
Yes.
Mayor Cosner.
Yes. Thank you very much, everyone. 9:35, not too shabby.
No, not with the closed session.